Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Tony. You're watching Yesteryear today. Join me as we celebrate and watch the horror movies that we loved of 1942. Let's check out the horror movies, the best horror movies that we loved of 1942. If you haven't already, click subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm Tony. Thanks for watching, and let's get started. First up we have is The Corpse Vanishes, horror and sci-fi. A scientist aided by an old hag and her two sons kills virginal brides, steals their bodies, and extracts gland fluid to keep his ancient wife alive and young. The Corpse Vanishes. Pretty good movie and kind of eerie. Eyes in the Night, crime, mystery, and horror. A blind detective and his seeing eye dog investigate a murder and discover a Nazi plot. Go figure, you're going to have a blind investigator find a murderer? That's got to be something, right? So a blind person and a seeing eye dog are going to solve a murder. Invisible Agent. Action, adventure, romance, and horror. The Invisible Man's grandson uses his secret formula to spy on Nazi Germany. This is a good movie because everybody wants to be invisible. And if you're invisible, you can do whatever you want. A Haunting We Will Go, featuring featuring Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy, adventure, comedy, and horror. Stan and Ollie get involved with conmen, crooks, a genial magician, and two interchangeable coffins with disastrous but funny results. A Haunting We Will Go. Night Monster, adventure, crime, drama, and horror. Kurt Inksten, a rich recluse, invites the doctors who left him, a hopeless cripple, to his desolate mansion in the swamps as one by one they meet their horrible deaths. Night Monster. The Ghost of Frankenstein. This is a great movie. Drama, horror, and sci-fi. Dr. Frankenstein's plans to replace the brain of his monster are hijacked by his scheming and malevolent assistant Igor. The Ghost of Frankenstein. This is a very good movie. Check it out. Next up we have is The Living Ghost, horror, mystery, and thriller. A retired detective, Nick, is hired to look for a missing banker. During the investigation, the aforementioned banker returns in a zombie-like state. What happened? Who's killing who? So that was The Living Ghost. Next up we have is The Mummy's Tomb. Looks like the curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Drama, fantasy, and horror. The ancient Egypt mummy Kharis is transported from his homeland with the high priest Mehemet to wreak vengeance on the family who has defiled the sacred tomb of his beloved princess. The Mummy's Tomb. Cat People. Fantasy, horror, and thriller. An American man marries a Serbian immigrant who fears that she will turn into the cat person of her homeland's fables if they are intimate together. Cat People. Fantasy, horror, and thriller. Dr. Renault's Secret. Horror, mystery, and romance. Dr. Larry Forbes visit the chateau of Dr. Robert Renault, uncle of his fiancée, who was idolized by Renault's assistant, a strange emigre from Java. Dr. Renault's Secret. The Mad Doctor of Market Street. Comedy, crime, and drama. A mad scientist is forced to leave San Francisco when his experiments become known. He lands on a tropical island, takes control, and terrorizes the local populace. The Mad Doctor of Market Street. Man with Two Lives. Horror and thriller. A man is brought back from death at the same time a vicious criminal dies in the electric chair. However, the man's soul is now taken over by the electrocuted gangster. What happens is anyone's guess. Man with Two Lives. The Night Has Eyes. Horror, mystery, and thriller. Two teachers, man-hungry Doris and restrained Marion, visit the Yorkshire moors a year after friend Evelyn disappeared there. The Night Has Eyes is a very good movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The Boogeyman Will Get You. See, look at this. I wonder if Halloween John Carpenter stole that. The Boogeyman Will Get You. Comedy and horror. A young divorcee tries to convert a historic house into a hotel despite its oddball inhabitants and dead bodies in the cellar. The Boogeyman Will Get You. The Boogeyman Will Get You. Next up we have is The Mad Monster. Drama, horror, and romance. A mad scientist changes his simple-minded handyman into a werewolf in order to prove his supposedly crazy scientific theories and exact revenge. The Mad Monster. Next up we have is The Strange Case of Dr. RX. Horror and mystery. A mysterious vigilante known as Dr. RX strikes again. Assigned to the case is private detective Jerry Church, but the crimes are baffling and involve strangulation and possible attempted murder. The Undying Monster. Drama, horror, and mystery. Surviving members of an aristocratic English family are threatened by a legendary monster when they venture out on a chilly, foggy night. The Undying Monster. Drama, horror, and mystery will not disappoint. Lastly, for 1942, Una Luz en la Ventana. One light in the window. A nurse begins a new job at an old dark house and finds herself reluctantly working for a mysterious mad doctor preparing a dangerous experiment in order to cure himself of acromegaly. Una Luz en la Ventana. Those are the horror movies that we loved of 1942. Let me know if there's any movies that I may have left out. Let me know. We can discuss them. Have you seen any of these movies of 1942? I want to know. What do you think? Alright, I'm Tony. You're watching Yesteryear today. Thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, leave them below. And I'll see you all in the next video.